There was one thing I noticed when I moved from the US to America, is that,
US?
I mean from India to America, was that people were they policed what they said to each other, and they were very polite. In India, we would witness a lot of instant eruptions of anger. Instantly road fights and everybody joining in, and like constant commotion in the streets. But in the last few years, I've just seen, I don't know whether it's the economic situation or what it is, people are dissatisfied and they are angry. A lot of people are angry. And they take out their anger and their frustration in many different ways. At the end of World War II, the world population was 2.8 billion. That's in 1945. And just imagine, less than 100 years, and we're close to 7 billion. Just by that fact alone, you can see that the pressure on people is so much more to succeed, to make something of themselves. And for the most part, you'll always find that with any population at any time, there would have been some wise and realized people, but it is only a fraction of the population that ever turns to peace and quiet and inner awareness and spiritual awakening as their only goal. The rest of the world are completely besotted with the world that they see. And it becomes then extremely important to have success. Success in the way you look, success in the way you react to people, success in the number of friends you attract, success in the kind of home you live in, success in the kind of achievement in your work atmosphere. The list just keeps growing. And the mind is such a strange thing that as it is not satisfied with what you've achieved. Now it's on to the next thing, and the next thing, and the next thing. So success and chasing all of this is an endless process. You are never going to reach anywhere until you realize that success happens right now. If this moment is not one of peace, is not one of calm, is not one of happiness, is not one of joy, is not one of completeness, nothing in your life is ever going to be. Everything, every success that happened in the past is brought into the moment as a memory. What is a memory? It is a thought in your head. And can you catch a thought? Can you find a place in your brain from where it came from? So what success are you talking about? How about that success that you're going to achieve in the future when you make $100,000? It's going to happen sometime in the future. And when you get 100,000, is it going to stop there? What is that 100,000? It's a number in the bank on a computer screen. Does it mean anything? Can you hold it? And of what use is money other than what you spend it for? And one day you're going to die and this number is going to remain. Somebody else is going to take this number and claim it. Oh, what are you chasing? So in India, we have this Guruji, I think it's Nityananda, who started this scheme called the Agama scheme. Brilliant, brilliant. He told everybody that, you know what, you are frustrated that you have to leave all your money to your children, to your nephews and your nieces, and you're wondering what they're going to do with your money. So what we're going to do, we're going to get 2 priests to meditate on your life, and they will know where you're going to be born next. So we will hold the money till then, and when you're born, we will give it to you. How do you like this scheme? It's an ingenious scam. It's one of the best I've ever heard. It should be an awakening call. We want everything, and when it does not happen when we want it, on our timeline, according to our needs, there is frustration, that feeling of lack, that you've not achieved something, that you've not gone somewhere, that you haven't had anything. And when that happens, the only vent is anger. Anger that everybody else is getting what you deserve. And then they just go out and take it. They just go and take. I met somebody at Walmart as I was, you know how they check your bill. They check your bill in this particular Walmart. And this old man was telling me, we always hold on to the guys that have backpacks and are carrying large bags. He says, you have no idea how much is taken from each Walmart every day. They take it because everybody else is on Instagram using it, putting it on, wearing it, clothes. There is this envy, I want it, I can't get it. So you have a whole host of needless actions in the world and terrible pain and suffering in the mind, which they alleviate by just going and drinking in the bar, taking some drugs, doing things that don't ultimately lead to any sort of happiness, lasting happiness. Any pleasure in the moment, if not done in moderation, will only lead to pain in the future. So this is a vicious cycle. It feeds on itself. There is anger, they're not able to go to work the next day, the work is not working well, and it's a kind of, it's almost as if they're in a labyrinth and they cannot escape. And you can see people that you love, people that you care for, caught in this, moving from unrequited desires, following their desires, not able to fulfill their desires, feeling the frustration, feeling the anger, and releasing it in ways that are not acceptable, that are not healthy for them in the long run. What is the escape from this? How do you deal with frustration and anger? To recognize that you're born in this world to just enjoy yourself, to be happy, to understand that happiness is your birthright. What happiness am I talking about? I'm not talking in terms of pleasure. Pleasure is not happiness, although some pleasure may give you that happiness in the moment. Lasting happiness is one that never goes away, and it only exists in your source. It is the nature of your source that observes all that happens through you and doesn't rise to anger. Do you notice that? The I in you that observes everything never yells at you, never shouts at you. This God that you worship, that wonderful God, that universal consciousness, never yells back at you saying, how many times have you asked me for the same thing? And you repeatedly, and you're not doing anything. No. God doesn't talk back to you. The universe doesn't respond that way. It merely observes. And that's what we try to retreat to. To be an observer in this world and create a little bit of distance between you and your situation. If there is no distance between you and your situation, you and your anger, you become the anger. You become the anger. Once you are the anger, try telling someone who's come at you with a fist held high to take it easy and calm down. Chill. That fist will come at your face faster. Why? Because at that point they are not the source, they are the anger. Already the identity with the anger, the frustration is so strong, you cannot reason with it. You cannot. And it is only your calm that quells the anger. Once I was told a story about how this man, Christian fundamentalist, came at Sri with a knife to kill him, because he was taking away all, important, so many followers and bringing them into a fold where, religion doesn't matter, right? And he asked him, he says, okay, give me 5 minutes and then you kill me. This is the story. And that this person ultimately became one. I don't want to name this person, ultimately became one of the teachers in the fold. This happens. Is my calm greater than your anger? When you're confronted with anger, when you're confronted with frustration, more anger will fuel it even more. Confront it with your calm. Do the opposite of what is expected. When someone is annoyed and screaming at you, pass a very complimentary praise. It will confuse them completely and bring it down. Be compassionate and understand their anger. It will bring it down. These are ways you combat anger outside. How do you combat your own? You have to have those moments of clear awareness. That only comes, that training of recognizing when that anger is coming up, you can feel your heart racing. And you know that in 30 seconds you're going to say something you regret. To catch it before it reaches that point, that is the art of living. And that only comes with training. You train yourself each day as you meditate. As you meditate, these thoughts come up. Angry thoughts come up. I want to get that person comes up. How dare she talk to me that way comes up. We're never angry about big things in life. We're always angry and frustrated about small things. getting a vacation, getting a holiday. How did that person talk to me like this? I wish I could go for a vacation. I wish I could get some new clothes. I wish I could change my house. I wish my daughter would get married. I wish my son would find a girlfriend. Things that we have no solutions for. These things anger and frustrate us. And you don't need it. You don't need any of it. Happiness is your birthright. You have to develop the knack. It doesn't, people can meditate all they want, but if they don't take the knowledge into their lives, it's worth nothing. You can read all the books that you want and be intellectually know exactly what to do, but if you don't use it in moments of crisis, of what use is that knowledge? You can be as successful as you want, but if your affairs are the front page in every newspaper and magazine, what have you achieved? To catch negative thoughts before they spiral you into depression, anger, frustration, guilt, all of these negative emotions. That is a trick. That's what we all want to learn. And the more times you catch yourself, there's no reason to feel bad. It's a good thing. Every time you catch yourself, give yourself a pat on the back. Yes, this time I pull back. This time I pull back. This time I pull back. But till then, you'll have to keep listening to me telling you all these things. Exchange a praise for anger. Combat your calm. Combat anger, their anger with your calm. Happiness is your birthright. These are things we have to keep telling ourselves. And as we do it little by little by little, you find that you get good at it. It's practice. It's like learning how to play tennis. You keep hitting the ball, you keep making the same mistake, you're throwing the ball in the wrong place. But one time you do it right, you follow the rules, you hit it right, you know exactly where it is going and you follow through exactly how it is supposed to be done. Wow, you caught it, you knew exactly how to do it, and it can be done. Just like that, you keep winning, you keep winning. And it's 6 love all the way. Om Namah Shivaya.